Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike. This time we're taking a look at the Star Wars, the Vintage Collection, Artillery Stormtrooper by Kenner. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. This is a really cool action figure. The Artillery Stormtrooper, as seen in Chapter 14, The Tragedy of the live-action series, The Mandalorian. So the Artillery Stormtrooper was featured as part of the assault force from Moff Gideon's light cruiser. They land on the planet Typhon and begin an uphill assault on Din Djarin and Fennec Shand in an effort to neutralize them, as well as serving as a distraction so that the Dark Troopers could capture Grogu. Now, the Artillery Stormtrooper, of course, equipped with an individual mortar system. He's got 4 shells that you guys can see there. These soldiers would specialize in indirect fire in support of a ground force advancing on an objective. So first and foremost, let's talk about the blister card packaging. I love the Kenner card back that Hasbro uses for the Vintage Collection. It just has a very nostalgic appeal to it. Of course, up top, you've got the Star Wars and Mandalorian banner. Below that, you've got the character title. In the inset, you have a snapshot of the character which the figure is based off of. And in the lower center, you've got the Kenner logo. Included is the action figure, his E11D blaster carbine. You've got the mortar itself, 4 shells. And I do think there is a backpack included to carry the shells on. I'm not for certain. On the back of the packaging, you've got images of the other figures included in this wave. Okay, so here we have the Artillery Stormtrooper outside of the packaging, and I must say this is a nice looking action figure. I like the yellow accents on his armor. I think that looks really cool all the way around. And if you're curious, the shoulder pauldron is removable. The head sculpt will pop off, and you can remove this if you want to make this like a squad leader and troop build with this figure. You can certainly do that. It is capable of being removed. It's just a matter of popping the head sculpt off, and it comes right off, and you can pop the helmet back on. Really, really nice. As far as articulation, head's on a ball joint. It will swivel left or right. Won't really pivot up and down due to the shoulder pauldron. Forward and lateral movement at the shoulder. You've got bicep rotation, elbow rotation, single jointed elbow, wrist rotation, and wrist pivot as well. Torso's on a ball joint and no waist swivel there. Forward and lateral movement at the thigh. And it's sort of inhibited due to the design of the armor. Thigh rotation, and then it'll also rotate there on that lower joint. Double jointed knee, lower leg rotation. Foot is on a ball joint, so it will roll and pivot. Really cool. So let's talk about accessories. First and foremost, he is equipped with an E11D blaster carbine. Nice molded detail. You can see the electro-optical sight there for targeting, which is fire linked with the HUD in their helmet. You can see it does include a molded weapon light, your power pack, folding stock. Really nice. And as far as the glow rod or weapon light, they're called glow rods in Star Wars. This is something that was started with Rogue One, and I'm really glad to see that feature added because it's so much more realistic. And of course, he can hold his blaster in his hand if you so choose to do that. Display it however you wish. Next feature I want to talk about is the mortar launcher itself. This is something that should make G.I. Joe fans jealous. This is really, really nice because it has 2 ball joints, one on the base plate. If you guys can see this, which will allow it to pivot up and down. And then another ball joint with the support struts here, which allow you to angle it. And it's also hollow on the inside. You guys see that? That is really cool. Here is the backpack, and this will hold the 4 rounds. You just have to make certain that that small circular piece is facing outward like that, and it will plug into his port on his back so that he can carry the rounds. And let's see if I can pull one of those out. And you know, you can have him in a kneeling position beside the launcher and face backward like this, and the round will actually drop in to the mortar, which is really cool. I do like that. I think that is awesome. Overall, this is one of the nicest figures that we have gotten to date in the vintage collection. I really like this figure. If you're a collector, you definitely want to add this to your collection. This is one of those figures that is going to exponentially increase with value over time. It also makes a really great troop builder. If you're into troop building for dios and toy photography, this is one that you definitely want. So there you have the Star Wars, the vintage collection Artillery Stormtrooper.